Okay, you have some skill.
At last.
The king's back and the throne's mine. The future's here and it's my time. Straight shot, going for the head with it. Take his head off and say that I did it. Good riddance. Say hi to the bad guy, I'm back in business. If you took what's mine, I'm back to get it. There's nothing you can do, I'm back with vengeance. Now turn me loose. Now turn me loose.
Jeez, there's a lot of scrolling. Hey, what's going on, everybody? St. Joe's represent for the Gray Pill Podcast. Just a shout out to the other content creators out there. Just for the purpose of StreamYards, I upgraded to the 1080p. You don't really need to, if you got a good camera, you do not need to upgrade the from 7020 to 1080p. Just an FYI, save a little bucks for everybody out there. Appreciate everybody for coming on through. I just want to give a thanks to everybody out there. So appreciate you guys for coming on through. If you're new, definitely hit the bell notification. Definitely hit the all, because YouTube is a little bit wonky. YouTube will actually take off, will unsubscribe your favorite content creators or things that you're trying to sub to. So be very wary of that. So appreciate everybody for coming on through. Thank you.
Hell
On
yeah.
that note,
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
this one also gives special shout out to Latinos and everybody out there.
For all your Spanish watchers and viewers, Telemundo, Univision, Galavisión. Hola, buenos días, buenas tardes y buenas noches, damas y caballeros. Por favor, suscriben, gusten y por favor compartir este canal de YouTube. Cualquier parte del mundo donde están ahorita, por favor. Familia, amigos o socios de trabajo, lo que sea, por todo el mundo, por favor, suscriben al canal del TheGreyPillPodcast, el Pastilla Gris, por favor. Muchas gracias.
For those that's listening out there in the YouTube universe, shout out to Great Pill Podcast. Go holler at him. Hell yeah. Give him a like and subscribe. Go view his channel, if you will. Courtesy of Classic Lights.
Okay, you have some skill.
All right. So with that note, if you've seen the thumbnail, seen everything, do anybody know anything about the Passport Bros, right? If anybody know anything about Passport Bros, it's supposed to be a bunch of guys that travel around the outside of the United States, just travel outside the country and join us. That's supposed to be the basic realms of the Passport Bros. But unfortunately, you have some different mentality of Passport Bros that travel for various different reasons. Some people travel for love. Some people travel to get women into the bed. Some Passport Bros actually travel just for the experience. Like, hey, let me travel the world. Let me see what's out there versus what's actually in my current state or current country that they're living in. They like to travel abroad, right? That's the positive and negative of it. So we're gonna there's a guy by the name of Gino that likes to travel, found him a love of his life that he's been courting virtually, and has been courting with this person during FaceTime, long distance. I think he stated that he actually visited this said woman that he loves so much outside of the state that he's living in. So we're going to have the conversation and let Gino explain to us his own words and the experience. So we're going to make this a case study and educational purposes only, because a lot of people out there that like to travel abroad don't understand what it takes to travel abroad, and also dating long distance, especially dating long distance that's outside the realm of just 30 minutes outside your area. Okay, so appreciate your guys. Let me get that little share up here real quick. All right, if we get a little mic check, make sure y'all see the audio and the video. All right.
Okay, definitely.
All right, so the uncle actually is preaching some real notes right here. So he's concerned, like, hey, is it a scam? Shout out to you, Man of Tomorrow. It's quite unfair to call these dudes passport bros. Yeah, it is unfair. It is unfair. And I literally just came across the term, which I don't even like even using that word. I don't even like using that word because just a guy with a passport. I have a passport stamped like what 4 times. I don't consider myself a passport bro. Like I feel like these new terms, these new names, it's weird labels on everything. The weirdest labels. So if anything, just a guy with a passport. Like, don't label me. I'm not in that little realm or whatever. I'm just a guy with a passport. And even the ones that are considered passport bros, like I know, like I said earlier, there's positive people that goes like when I go travel, I'm big foodie. I go for the food. I definitely go for the like the scenery and the culture. More so the scenery and the culture. Like the best so far, I know it's more out there, but so far, for me, I really enjoyed Ireland. And somebody after that recommended Scotland. And then before the pandemic, I was gonna go with buddies of mine to Japan. But the pandemic hit, so all that money was used to rent food and just self-sustain it. And that's pretty much it. But everywhere I went, people just treated me good. The food was great. Like, man, when I say I took a bunch of pictures of the food, it was crazy. It was crazy. So, are we serious? And if I'm back, let me know because I want to repeat the whole conversation I had with with Manna tomorrow. I want to repeat the same conversation. So if I'm back, definitely let me know. But YouTube is on one of these moments. All right, I am back. I see myself. Cool. All right, back to talking to myself as I'm thinking I'm responding to Man of Tomorrow. I appreciate you, Man of Tomorrow. All right, so Man of Tomorrow said it's quite unfair to call these dudes passport bros. I 100% agree. Only because I think the term is weird. It's like everybody's giving these new names, these new terms. Corey. I have to agree. I'm trying to stick up for Gino. I'm rooting for the underdog. I feel like Gino got it. But yeah, but back to the conversation I was having with Man of Tomorrow. Where was it? Okay. Man of Tomorrow says it's quite unfair to talk these dudes about the it's quite unfair to call these dudes passport bros, TBH. And I agree. Because I feel like just the term itself is like some new term, a new nickname that they got out there, which is to me just is cringe and weird. For me, it's just a regular guy with a passport. I am a regular guy with a passport. I'm not a passport bro. I'm not this, But I know there's other definition like expat. When I interviewed one expat by the name of Rike, he travels abroad, but he is an actual expat in the Philippines. If you check out his channel, all he talks about is like the upcurrent news and daily stuff that goes on in the Philippines. He actually talk about the budgeting in the Philippines, like how much it would cost to sustain you. You know, if you're just like if you have he will actually give you help you out with a plan. Like if you're going out, say, hey, you feel like, hold on, here come E-Man just popped on through.
They got you, man. They got
you.
Gino said, call him a simp again. Call him, I was reporting for China. He called me a simp again.
I'm rooting for Gino. I'm rooting for Gino. Oh, man. I am rooting for Gino. I'm like, yo, Gino got this, you know? He got him a bad Panamanian chick. He winning. He winning right now.
I think this shows that even men can hit the wall too. I know a lot of people, quote unquote, think it's no wall for men, but
oh yeah, it's a wall.
He's out there begging.
It's definitely a wall. It get worse too. It get worse. I was literally trying to line up a whole because something new happened with them down the line on the show, and I was trying to line up the Dutch right, but you two's like, nah, we ain't gonna have that. We're not gonna have that. Well, maybe I need to go to Rumble.
I actually think that I think Gino actually is speaking some facts, man. I don't think there's nothing wrong with now. I don't think you gotta be extreme as him taking pictures and sending it to your wife. But for example, me and my wife, we share locations. She know where I'm at. I know she's at. Like,
yeah, I don't think there's nothing wrong. I don't think nothing's wrong with that. I don't think.
But hey, FaceTime me while I watch you walk in, and then why you got ask her name. I think that's a little bit more, but it shows why she's single too, because most dudes ain't gonna deal with that. Like they ain't gonna close to that.
Hey, I'm gonna tell you a spoiler too, right? Since YouTube just sweeping my feet, she actually has she was married. She has 2 children.
Oh, she didn't tell him.
He won't know until like when he get there.
Dang. And they was talking for a long time, right?
According to him, 9 months.
9 months. That's a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And I bet you he was cash apping her too.
See, you getting there. See, there's another thing too. He paid at this moment where I was about to show. He's talking to his uncle that helped raise him and his uncle's wife. He funded for her teeth. He funded for her lips. He funded for her hair. He even funded for her education. He even funded for her residence where she lived at.
That's tough.
In 9 months. Again, he only known her for 9 months.
Well, tell Gino I got the cervical scissors. Cut that off. Man.
He said he want kids. He in love. He found, they got a bond together.
I don't know, man. I think at 50 he might need to find somebody that's a little bit more fit. He gotta go younger because he can't get a 50-year-old woman, right?
Well, according to him, he claimed, you know what? I'm gonna be on Gino's side. Since I've been simping for Gino, I'm gonna be on Gino's side. So you give me all the tools and necessary for this, so we'll make this a case study for Gino. So again, Gino said he can't find the right woman. It's hard for him to find the woman. He can't find the woman. He's in Michigan. It's cold out there. He's cold.
Well, Gino's a little weird. Now let's be a little honest. Like he's a little weird. First, we're gonna say that. But I think he ain't outside, man. He might gotta go outside. But he's like, if you look at him, he don't look like a type of person that is gonna grab somebody's attention. Like if he was outside, most people like you would walk by him and didn't even know him.
I ain't gonna lie,
I do think a good move for Gino was most people looking at this relationship. I believe Gino gonna find him a relationship real soon. Because once he put himself out here on this dating show or whatever it is, they gonna start inboxing him. There's a woman who say, "Man, I need my lips done and my BBL, and I can't afford it. But I know all I gotta do is be good to Gino, and Gino's gonna be good to me." So I think Gino gonna find a woman, man.
You know what? That's fair too, because I know some women they'll see that and they're like, "Wow, if that woman is doing him wrong, but I'll accept all the resources he's giving me, but I'll stay around with him just because he's still doing it. But I'll treat him a little bit better, even though I might not 100% like him." Because there's women out there like that too.
Well, no, I'm telling you, it's going to be a woman that likes him. Like, I know a friend that was on a reality TV show, and he said the women genuinely liked him. It wasn't like a front. It was just like, I believe everybody got a match. They might just, you might not run into them on a daily basis, right? Like, Great Bill, you got a match. They just might be in Kansas, or they might be, like, you might not have access to them. And what social media have done is once you have millions of people that watch this show, one of the millions say, you know what, Gino is my ideal man. I've been looking for a guy like Gino my whole life.
So you're saying I need to go on the show and like, hey, I might be the ideal. Okay. Yeah, but what? Okay. Oh, hold up. But what if he's not aware of those people that like him? Because there's people like that. Like I might like her, but she might not be aware of that she knows that I like her. You know what I'm saying? Because Gino seemed like that type of person. Like I feel like he really I ain't gonna lie. Like low-key, I was like, yo, if he was a psycho, nobody would know. but I feel like he's the type of person that's so awkward. Like when he walk in public and he do like a person like that engagement he had with the girl, she wouldn't catch on to the vibes like, yo, Gino is feeling me. Or the other way around. If she gives off like, because I'm a type of person, like I prefer a little bit more of an aggressive chick to give me that real flag, like, okay, it's a go. But there's other guys like Gino, like most women might do the flirty, like their voice might change a little bit. They'll toss their hair, or people said back in the day they do the handkerchief, but we know nobody's not doing that no more. So, or they might speak to you, little like they just come over for no reason. Let's say if you work at a store, they just pop up at the store consistently, ordering the most dumbest stuff on the menu, trying to get your attention. So, but Gino's not that type of person. He's gonna catch those kind of telltales. So
no, it's this show that I like watching, right? Have you ever seen? I don't know the name of it, but the whole concept of the show is dating on the spectrum, right? It's two people on the, you know what on the spectrum mean, right?
I've looked that up.
Like two autistic or two people who's not quite right. Let me say it. It's like two people with some type of mental illness and they're dating, right? I'm not saying that it's a Jasmine out there for him that looks like Jasmine. I'm saying that it's a weird woman, maybe a cat lady that's still fertile that has some kids that might be for Gino. See, Gino, I tell people this all the time. Like this one guy that I was mentoring, he was like, I just can't find these women that want me. I said, you like Comic-Con? You need to go to Comic-Con and date some of them Comic-Con women. Like we got to get to a point where we're we got to get to a point where we're dating the people who want us instead of us trying to force a person who's not in their natural mind to come to us. That's the point that I'm making.
Yeah. So basically, and this is what I'm here. I'm adding to it. So pretty much date on your strength. You know what I'm saying? Like if you say to Comic-Con, if you know that person is a geek, because I'm about that. I'm pretty much like a little bit of everything, but I'm a big fan of anime, comics, all that stuff, movies. I'm a movie fanatic. So I'm going to pretty much go there for the 10. And this is the thing, and I'm going to still stay on Gino. Go there to that place that you enjoy, but at the same time, don't go there with your intent of, let me see if I can get a girl. But be aware that somebody going to like the same stuff that you like. And that might be your opportunity. Just not say flirt, but hey, casually get a number. Hey, there's another Comic-Con next week. Do you want to go together? Or better yet, hey, I'm going to my house and I'm just being, and it's for the geeks out there. Hey, I got some Yu-Gi-Oh cards or some Dungeon and Dragon stuff. You know, I got a group thing going on the weekend. You want to do that? Or bowling. Most people are fans of bowling. Do you want to hang out this bowling? Or I even had a friend. It's not a flirtatious date, but it could have been inserted of me asking this person for a date. Like I just found this person is a gamer, and they made a comment like, "Oh man, like, oh you having you're building up a whole gamer thing for your gaming channel with like Mario Kart for 83," and I'm just giving an example. Oh yeah. Oh well, I'm good. I'm really good at that. Here come my response. Oh well, I own you, or something like that, because that's pretty much how gamers talk. And then her response was like, "Oh really? Yeah. Okay, we can hook up and meet up this time." Then after that, you kind of make baby steps and trying to reach to these people. So I think that's the way Gino should go, or anybody, but definitely fight and lean on your strengths that you have.
Well, I think Gino at 50 years old, he got money to pay for lips and all this. he needs to pay a matchmaker. I know people frown upon this in our community, right?
Mhm.
But so Love on the Spectrum, that's exactly what it is. So Love on the Spectrum, they actually bring in two people who look good together on paper. Not saying that they're going to be great together. That's not what I'm saying. But it started me bringing people who have like tendencies together. And I can tell you right now, him and Jasmine, they didn't have a lot of like tendencies together. So I just think that he needs some help. And it's okay for us to say that he needs some help. He might need to get a matchmaker. Let me ask you a question in Great Pill. So say if you had money, would you be open to getting a matchmaker to help you choose your spouse?
Hold on, repeat that.
So say for example, you had a whole bunch of money. Would you be open to getting a matchmaker to help send women that's qualified for the things that you want?
It depends because I don't like to brag and say I'm like, all this and all that, but I've been in situations where I will literally be dressing up like bummy or just like I'm casually like this when I walk on the street and just being I think this problem with Gino and I'm comparing myself to Gino. I'll get the tension and then sometimes I might go over my head because I either just don't care or if they come, like I said, they come a few more times. So I'm okay with conversating and asking for numbers. If it's a yes, it's a yes. If it's a no, it's a no. So me having the money to have more options, I have to say honestly no. But the thought would be there. Like I'm not gonna just knock it. The thought would be there, but I wouldn't frown upon it. I wouldn't knock it, but I would have to say no because I know that generally there's options out there for me with big facts. Like I said, you got to be honest about what your options is at that time instead of be saying like, this is what I want. This is what I want, So I would say no. Cause I right now, my mindset, as far as money goes, I've always been saying right now, I'm not a greedy person. Even if I just got 100K, I'm out the door. Like if I know somebody, cause I know you're a genuine person. Like I tell this my homeboy all the time, if I got $1 million, I'll give you 25K just in case because most dudes act stupid with their money. So if I got $1 million, I'll give you E-Man 250K. And if I go outside the country and act stupid and blow all that money, when I come back, hey, I burnt all my money, man. Then that'll be that 250K, come back home, got a house, got the cars, and I'll just chill because I knew what I did was wrong. So that's literally me. That's pretty much the type of guy I am. But to use extra money to help me find a woman, I have to say no.
Well, and the reason I ask this because this is very common in other countries, matchmakers, different things like that, right? Especially like the Indian culture, for example. They go to a professional. The reason I said this is because it really, what you're doing is gambling, right? Mm-hmm. So what you do is you go out, you see somebody that you're attracted to, and you say, I am going to try to go the long route, right? But imagine if you could put on paper everything that you wanted, right? And this is not for you, this is with Gino, right? Mm-hmm. At 50, of course, I'm not talking to people that's under 50, right? But at 50 years old, let's even say 60 years old, if you're serious about trying to find that last hope, I would say go to a matchmaker, hands down. I think that'd be the best solution for him. Matter of fact, because he already spent the money and he gambled. And
he spent a lot of money. Yeah, a lot of money. Even with his first wife, because it said 100%. Hey, Inky, if you want the link, I'll give you the link right now because Inky have like a lot of good perspectives on a lot of stuff like this. So Inky, let me know if you want the link if you have time to come up for the conversation. But yeah, he blew a lot of money, even with his first wife. And that could have been, I don't want to say she was using him, but he said he was an engineer working outside the another country. He got her the visa, came to the States, married her. They've been married for I think 7-8 years. And according to him, they both decided it won't work out. And they went their separate way. Now, as far as how the settlement went in divorce, that wasn't mentioned. So we're going to say he walked out with a clean slate. So now he's back at it again. So as far as the money goes, yes, he blew a lot of money in her teeth, her lips, her hair. In the 9 months, according to him, he said he visited her 3 times. So this would make, I guess, 4th. He paid for her.
Do you know if they were sexually active or they didn't disclose that?
No. I'm gonna make a part 2 just cause I'm not gonna play the whole video because YouTube already just said F me, but it's all good. But I'm literally gonna make a part 2 of this one because it's some extra stuff that she divulged about Gino. But no, when it got there,
I do know why she was jealous. I can't.
that?
So the reason she was jealous because she didn't want nobody coming in and getting in on her hustle. She like it wasn't really about she wanted Gino. She knew that Gino was a mark, and she knew that it's a woman. If she easily can do this from a million miles away, a woman could see it like that. Waiter could have took advantage of him right then and took something that she thought was rightfully with her. So I think she was trying to protect the mark, not protect Gino. But I just saw a little bit. I never saw this show. This is the first time I saw it. So
I don't know, man. I think you know, that was, you know, not out of 9 months. You know, shout out to Ricky Lake. You know, she married her husband. She met 2 weeks, and they've been married over 15 years. Gino, you know, stand by the love and the bond. He said, "Hey, it worked the first time. We was married for 7 years. I got with this met Jasmine's her name. You know, everything she does for me. Even Jasmine says herself, like, yo, I love Gino. I love Gino. So this sounds like a love connection. You know, I don't care what Corey say in the chat. This a love connection. You know, love is blind. Love is blind. I don't know. I don't think it's a mark.
I don't know, man. I think love is not blind. I think love got eyes because if it was blind, people would stay together forever.
That's fair too.
So
duty sacrifice. Duty sacrifice.
Yeah, I just think it comes down to like. I don't know, man. I really want to know what happened with his first. Like now, you're gonna make me go do some research. I truthfully and honestly want to know what happened with the first marriage, because I've been hearing people say this. I had a successful marriage that ended in divorce. I don't like that's like an oxymoron. I don't understand how you have a successful marriage that ended in divorce.
Maybe they mean by. It didn't end out terribly because I know some relationships that they'll be married. For me, in my mind, if you get past the 5-year marker and you're still married, I think you're doing a good job. And I have cousins that like, I think over 10 years.
So but he didn't have a successful marriage. He had a successful divorce. That's 2 different things.
Yeah.
You can be. So
hold on. So what's a successful marriage to you then? What's a successful marriage for you?
I think it's like the pinnacle of success in marriage is death do us part. That's step 1. Like I think anytime that you have a divorce, the marriage wasn't successful, right? Yeah. I think the next section of success in marriage is having successful kids. I think that can be a reflection of your marriage. I know people say, well, you can have a really good marriage, you can have some awful kids, but I think it comes part of the package. And another thing,
do you think that you have to have kids to have a successful marriage? Because there's people that's married today 10 plus years and they don't have kids. They choose not to have kids.
So that's like an option. You know how like when you buy the truck, you got the option to upgrade. So if you upgrade, that is going to be part of the conversation. If you never took the upgrade, we never can hold you accountable for those things, right? So say if 2 people got together. Another thing too is I know people don't like this, but staying together actually determines if you're successful. Like you say, well, I was happy for 6 years, then we was not happy. So I could look at the 6 years as successful. No, if we look at the whole thing, it's just technically not successful, in my opinion. Like the one thing I love about Trigger Mike said this today. He said, if me and my wife divorced, regardless of all the things that we have accomplished, the marriage itself was a failure. And I think so many people don't want to look at it that way because they don't like failing.
Even if y'all, because that's a cookie crumbler. I don't know. Because I'm not in your guys' shoes, so I don't see it that way. I don't see divorce as a failure. I see it as if we, even in a casual relationship, if me and my spouse, if we're dating or courting a year, it didn't work out, at least we ended off on good terms, meaning that there's no arguing, there's no fighting, there's no cars, cops. You know, I didn't ever put hands on her. She didn't put hands on me. that's where I think it comes to at that point. So I have to kind of disagree with that one, because as a marriage, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm not, you are. I feel like you and your wife knew each other before y'all was married. Y'all have that's a different type of love, but that love had to like sustain, maintain, and carry over, because 1 year, 5 years, 10 years is y'all look at each other, yourselves and each other differently over time. You know what I'm saying? So I can't really say that it's Muse said something. She said it's how you define success. So, and I'll use her for example. If me and her was married in 5 years, and then she feels some kind of way, and there's nothing I can do to add more, I guess, value or whatever to the table. That's another cringe word too, to our relationship, our marriage, and she's still not feeling the same. We went to therapy. We did all the other stuff, and they said, "Man, why you hit the link? Everybody tell you to hit that link. You good, man? You good? You coming up?" Let me bring Inky up in here. But yeah, but that's what pretty much why I think about the marriage thing. What's going on, Inky? Ink, you there? I'll give you. Ink, go ahead, take your time, because I think she said she had to spruce up a bit. So take your time, Inky, and spruce up, and we'll bring up Ed, the one who didn't listen.
Yeah, no, I listen. I just don't care, bro. Rules
Hey, shout out to LTTV, because he had all these rules and all of them got broken like in 2 days. But only one rule: no profanity. I'm trying to get a brand deal here. All right, shout out to E-Man. I'm trying to get a brand. But go ahead.
Yeah. Bleep, 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 bleep.
Yeah. I'll let you go ahead and respond, E-Man. Then I'll let
Well, I got a question to Ant. So my question is: two people get married and they get divorced, is it wrong for me to say that they failed their marriage?
No. Are you wrong to say that they failed?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it depends. It depends. I mean, if they both tried to make it work and then it didn't work, yeah, that's a failure. But if they come to the conclusion, like, because a lot of marriages end, it's just a mutual parting of ways. Two people realize, hey, this ain't working out. You know, the best direction for both of us is to be apart. So that's not a failure. You know what I'm saying? You learn something. Both of y'all learn something that you could take into your next relationship if you choose to get into one. Sometimes you realize you're better off alone. You know?
Well, let me give you guys a caveat, right? If a person makes vows, right, and a person said, hey, if you cheat on me, if you do this, or if we do not like each other 5 years from now, we can get a divorce, maybe we can look at it as successful. But when I see two people say, what was your vow? So we did the traditional vows. We said death to us more. This was the agreement of what we agreed upon, and we was not able. It's like business. If you agree upon something, you wasn't able to accomplish the goal, it's considered a failure, regardless how much money you might have made in the time that you was operating in business.
I agree with that. Yeah, if you have specific goals.
Yeah, I agree with it, because I think like marriages comes in different forms. Like, I don't know, because I don't know, maybe I'm a little bit softy, because when I hear it's like, it's kind of cold, like you say business, and a lot of people maybe it's me because I'm a guy. Most people like, yo, they don't look at marriage as a business, because I heard that's a whole conversation too. Marriage is a business. A lot of people don't look at it like that. Most people look at marriage as like it's a duty, it's an obligation, or I have responsibilities. There's like a lot of caveats to that.
But GreyPill, you know why people have a problem with what I'm saying? You know the true reason? People have a problem with what I am saying for the simple fact that we done made society so soft. I can't. It's not just marriage. I can't go to a football game and say, "Oh no, y'all lost." Oh no, we didn't lose. It's no losers in football.
Well, everybody gets a trophy now. Everybody gets a trophy now. If I can cut you off for just a second, I don't have a problem with the whole. Hey, it's a marriage is a business. I know some people like, oh, it's all about money. No, for me, and I think either man feels the same way. Business is not just about money. Like for some people, like business is a way of life. It's my reputation. It's my brand. You know what I'm saying? It's the longevity and future of those around me and my bloodline. You know what I'm saying? And myself, all of that stuff. So yeah, marriage is a business to me. Money is just a byproduct of all that other stuff. So I'm not just in business to make money. You know what I'm saying? I'm providing a stable living for myself. You know what I'm saying? All of my constituency. my, you know what I'm saying, my family. You know what I'm saying? I'm providing for the community. I'm actually offering people a service that they want, that they need, that they're willing to pay for, and all of those things. So there's a lot of things that come into that. It's not just money.
Yeah, but it got to come down to a conversation. That's the foundation of that. Like this is what I want. This is what you want. What can we, because now if we're talking about business now, what you want, what I want, what can we both bring into the unity and the confines of marriage, and how this is going to look for both of us moving forward. That's why I think that's the people skips a beat on that. They'll just say what that part of Auntie say, which is great, but they don't put the foundation on there. Like, hey, communication, understanding, and let's make this consistent. And hey, better yet, let's have, I guess, maintenance reminders with one another. Because again, like I said to E, 1 year might be 1 year phase before you get married is different how y'all look versus after the ring is on both our fingers, and then 5 years later is a little bit different from there. So
let me say this, right, because I say marriage is a business, and people always ask why I say that. Because people take business more serious than they take marriage. Like most people, the only qualification for marriage is to be in love, right? Like, I don't care how much you love somebody, you typically ain't going to go into business with them unless they have other qualifications that's going to prove that business is going to be successful. So when we said look at it from the perspective of a business aspect, you would not risk your assets or risk your name, your liability on anybody unless you made sure they was qualified to be a business partner, and we need to make sure women are qualified to be wives.
All right, Inky, you have any thoughts? Are you good?
Can we go back to the question of the matchmaker?
Yeah, well, first we can bring it back a little bit to the passport bros thing. So, what do you think about the long distance relationship, especially long distance, as far as traveling outside the country, like with Gino's situation, like that you can kind of surface back to what myself, E-Man, and Ant was saying.
So traveling for your companion?
Correct.
People do it all the time. I mean, they have brides from overseas, correct?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if that's what you're into, if you're into getting to know someone on a more superficial basis and then learning them as you go along, I don't know how they do it now. I don't know if they still go through the courting stage of, getting that bride and then bringing them over here and still courting them, like getting to know them, how they twist the toothpaste, so then they're not fighting over frivolous things later. Then I think that would be fine. But if you're just going to marry someone on a superficial basis, whether it's for looks or, their financial stature, then, well, one, it's shallow, but two, you don't know if their little quirks are going to bother you later on.
So
and then you end up.
So what would you suggest for them then, like to get to know each other a little bit better, especially if they're long distance, cross country?
Well, and I don't know how everybody else feels about this, but until you physically are in the presence with someone, you're not really going to know that person. And you could even live with someone for 5 years and still not really know them. And I can say
I knew that head was going to shake. You don't go ahead, but he don't agree with you. But we'll let him respond. Go ahead, Inky.
I was married for 17 years. And I did the, they called it the trophy wife. I did everything I was supposed to do, and he still cheated on me. And I did the loyalty thing where it was the ride or die thing. And I finally, after 17 years, said, I can't do this anymore. And I gave up everything.
So let me ask you a question. You saying that you can live with somebody for 5 years and not know who they are?
Yeah, you can. I went through a real serious domestic situation. And okay, so you know how like drugs and alcohol can change a person, or it brings out some people will say, oh, alcohol brings out the real person. Some people will say drugs and alcohol changes a person. So however you want to look at that, people walk around with a facade on. I think the rule of thumb is it 6 months or a year is like that honeymoon phase where, you know, you're on your best behavior. And then after you get comfortable with somebody, then they become the real them. They start doing things that are, you know, like, whoa, I didn't realize you did that. Or you know what I mean? So my second relationship was with someone who was extremely abusive, and they did something completely out of line that I never in my life thought would have ever happened. And that's what I mean by sometimes you can know somebody for a while and long time and be like, wow, I would never have thought you would have done that.
Well, I think I'm realistic. I think all humans are capable of the worst, right? We just choose not to. Like, I don't, like when somebody kills somebody, I don't say, oh, I would have never expected him to kill somebody. Everybody have the capacity to kill somebody. They just choose if they want to do it or not. The point that I was saying is that living with somebody for 5 years, you know who that person is. Like, I might be wrong, but I don't think a person just never beats you.
No, you're right. You're right, because they give off hints.
Yeah, I think people are in denial. This is in reality and what relationships is. They see it, they try to ignore it, they pray and they hope that it change. But what's happened is alcohol just magnify that side of them. That's all it's doing. So and not just alcohol, any type of drugs. I just think if your eyes are open and you're attentive with a person, you know exactly who they is. Now, who they become is a direct reflection of the type of influence that's in their life. Now, you can become somebody different, but you knew who they was throughout those 5 years. And sometimes this is why me and my wife is so big on personal development. Like, we go to conferences, because we want to become better people, but we have to be able to put ourselves in that situation to be there. Versus if we put ourselves in negative drama, we will become a person that we don't like. But you know who they are, and I can imagine living with my wife for 5 years and then wake up and say, I don't know who this person is. I know exactly who she is. I might not like it, but I know exactly who she is. And she didn't just wake up a new person. I just disagree with that.
I can agree. I can agree with you.
Gino, but go ahead, E. I think you're making jabs at Gino, but go ahead.
Nah, can I jump in for a moment? All right, I agree with E. I don't see how you can go to sleep next to somebody and wake up next to somebody for X amount of years and not know who they are unless you are just not paying attention, which is what happens in a lot of relationships. People are focused on their own needs, their own wants, and they really don't see things from their significant other's perspective. So 5 years, 10 years, 15, sometimes 20 years later, this person comes up and they're like, yo, I'm unhappy. And the other person's like, no, everything's great. It's like, no, it's not great. And it hasn't been great. I've been pissed off. I've been mad. I couldn't stand this. I've been miserable for the last X amount of years. And you didn't notice? And she's like, I'm not saying it's always her. Sometimes it's the dude that just does this. Like, he's like, well, I've been working and you got all the clothes and the cars and the kids are good and everything's good. What are you talking about? She's like, but I'm not happy. I'm not attracted to you no more. I'm not doing this. Same with the women. They're like, everything's good. Like, I cook for you, I clean for you, I had your kids, everything. What do you mean it's not great? It's like, look, I've been miserable for a while. I don't want to be with you. I really haven't wanted to be with you for a while. You didn't notice? Like, you're supposed to kind of feel that.
Yeah, and let me add to that too, because let's say now y'all living in separate bedrooms and it's been for years. Do you still know that person?
Oh no, we don't do that. No, listen.
But that's the thing too.
No, but see, that's why you got to have rules. Like, my wife knows that I am not sleeping on the couch, and I'm not expecting her to. Now, if my wife decided to go sleep on the couch, I can't stop her from doing it. But we don't do those games. See, it's so many people.
So you say it's a game, sir?
Well, it is a game because in your scenario, when you say that y'all been sleeping in separate rooms.
No, let me paint the picture for you, and I'll let you go with that. Husband and wife, 20 years, 15 years married. The wife could say, hey, he is XYZ, all the things that Ann just gave, right? That all the nasty parts. So, but I'm still a wife, but I'm gonna still live in the same house with this person. But we're gonna live in separate bedrooms. I got a bedroom. He got a bedroom. There, that's it.
Nope. Listen, as long as we stay in this house, we gonna sleep in the same bedroom. We gonna sleep in the same bed, and typically we gonna sleep naked.
Let me jump in there for a second because I'm about to drop down. I swear I'm about to drop down after this. I just got an alert. But hey, I'm a little different. I know E is like, damn that I'm not sleeping on the couch. Like, I'm gonna sleep in the bedroom and you gonna sleep with me. Cool. I'm like, yo, it's you know how I am. His and her everything. I'm gonna always have my own room in the house. That is what it is. And I would prefer that she have hers too. Like, straight up. So we should always be able to get away without getting away from each other. That's just the way it is. Close quarters can cause conflict. So you need to know that, hey, I don't need to be away from you to the point where I gotta leave, but sometimes I do just want to be alone. You know, sometimes you want to go to sleep at 11. Hey, I'm up tonight. I'm doing YouTube or I'm watching the game or whatever the case may be. So, hey, you go to sleep at 11. I'm sitting in my man cave. I'm sitting on the couch and I might just fall asleep on the couch. That is what it is. You got your space over there. I got my space over here. When we're done with our alone, like you gonna have your own room. I won't even share a closet with a woman. I'm being real. Damn that. I won't even share a closet with you. You know what I'm saying? Like that's just me. And as far as I know she mentioned the toothpaste. I'm like, yo, I damn sure don't share toiletries. Like, damn, now you can squeeze your toothpaste too from the middle and all of that. That's yours. I got my own. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just believe in that. His and her everything. We really shouldn't share much of anything unless we want to. You know, unless we want to. So that's just me. You know, that's just me.
And with that being said, I hate to interrupt, but with that being said, if you think of almost every marriage relationship book, it has those rings on it, your wedding rings, those 2 solid gold rings. And you have those rings stand for, you have your life, they have theirs. And then they crisscross at the very where they touch. You share that small portion. So you get to stay as an individual. The other person gets to stay as an individual, and you share that portion of your life where you are joined as a couple, is what Aunt is trying to say, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, and that's why I say his and her everything, but that's why I say make sure you got your stuff together so the house is big enough. She has, because look, these are the last time I remember relationships, like most relationships actually ending until death do us part, was like my grandparents. And this is on both sides. They had separate rooms for as long as I can remember being alive. Straight up. You know what I'm saying? When we went over there to see the grandparents, they were rarely sharing quarters with each other. Like, he'd be over here, she'd be over there. And then, you know what I'm saying, that when they did get together, they would crack on each other. They make jokes or whatever and roast each other. But for the most part, after being together for 30, 40 years, they like, yo, I got my own room. She got hers. Like, they don't even sleep together. We used to stumble upon Grandpa's Viagra, so I'm pretty sure they were getting it on. You know what I'm saying? We used to find the blue pills. So, but for the most part, it wasn't like that. You know what I'm saying? It's cool. You know what I'm saying? Because marriages are full of monotony. That's what it is. You don't believe it. It's not possible. But I'm gonna leave E with that because I know you want to jump in there. I got a client, E, Inky, Great Pill, man. Thanks for having me up, man. I know I broke the rules.
I appreciate the party. It was good.
That's how cash app in a little bit, bro. I'll send you something in a little bit, bro.
Hey, but seriously, it's gonna go donation to Inky because we had a stream last time. So, and Inky, if you want to talk about the what you're supporting your cause. So any cash apps. Any super chats that I get for the Great Pill Podcast is guaranteed going to go to Inky and her cause. So I'm going to make that a thing. So, Inky, if you want to
do me a favor, either put it in the chat or IG it or something.
Yeah, I'll definitely do that.
I'll send her something.
Yeah, any cash apps you send me will definitely go to Inky. So, Inky, if you want to let everybody know what your cause is, because I think it's a great one.
All right.
Okay.
Not a problem.
So I am the founder of Tainted Inc. Organization. And what my organization does is okay, so hold on just one second. Let me sit down. I was walking around, sorry. So what we do is we give you like the foundation skills. We help you get resources. We're working on housing for those that have been in situations of domestic violence that have animals. So if you're ever in a domestic violence situation and you have to go to a safe house, For instance, like a battered women's shelter, they don't have the resources if you have a pet. You would have to leave your pet and everything behind. You literally take you and your clothes and your children. That's it. So say, for instance, you have a dog that you've had, for 5-10 years, and this is like the animal that you hold on to when you're in your closet crying. That is the closest thing to you. That's like your little support person. And so you don't want to leave that behind. I was once in a situation where I lost 2 dogs and I almost lost one of my horses. And that was not an option. I had no option of being able to take my dog with me, it was a Great Dane too. And I had it for 13 years. And I ended up going back to that situation to find out that he had, I don't know how I can explain it on YouTube without it sounding graphic, but the dog was killed. So, and very shortly after that, he did the second one. So my whole program is about, getting resources together through government agencies and grants to build homes that could house a person and their animal when they're in that type of situation.
Yeah, so anything that y'all cash at me, Lady No More had cash at me, so thank you. I'll finish this out. Lady No More had cash at me the last time you was on Inky, so I definitely need your information. So every time you are on, your link information will be below. Also, people know where to find you for that information. And I'm trying to remember something else too. I think that's it. Oh, also, Ashley. She was on here. She a feisty one. She be on the Caucasian persuasion of the manosphere. She loves to have great debates with other people. Very feisty, cool person. I love her to death. Anybody has problems, because I know there's a lot of things people talk about the fair use and the rules of YouTube. The Canadian space, they always talk about this. They actually read, and a lot of people don't want to read things. They just don't. So she's an advocate of hey, if you have your channel been striked or some kind of rules regulation has been bent or broken, definitely see her. She actually has a content actually explain to people how to get your content off. I think I seen who was it? It wasn't Duke. It was somebody else. Their channel got a strike for no reason at all. No, matter of fact, it was Fatty. That's who it was. I was gonna reach out to Fatty about that. His channel was been threatened to be strike. I don't know if it was. I felt very like that sucks. So if your channel gets striked or something like that, definitely reach out to me, or I will send you to Ashley so that person can help you to work through it. Because what happens is somebody like that type of person, very toxic, very nasty individual, strikes your channel and they have no justification of it. Like, for example, I have justification to strike somebody's channel, ex-co-host or just a person that I know that did some heinous stuff against me a year ago. I have grounds to do that and press legal actions too. But this is the people you talk to that actually break all this stuff down to help you work through it, because a lot of people don't want to read a lot of stuff on YouTube. So I would definitely point you out to that direction, that person, and they could bring it out from there. With further ado, somebody else that crashed and joined the party, but it's all good. So he is Red Pill, because that's what Red Pillers do. They would just step in where they're not supposed to be here. But it's all good. Shout out to D.O. Saint, a second guest time member. He's been on Suzette Speaks a lot of times. I feel like you're the go-to person for her when it comes to like certain manosphere stuff. So I think you might be my, you know what? I'll just make you my friendly, positive nemesis in YouTube space. I think because last time we had a conversation and I want to say a debate, I think a friendly discourse about the whole Andrew Tate situation last time we was up here, and it was actually a cool conversation. You know what I'm saying? I think the friendliest so far that I had on other spaces. So I respect you for that. I don't think we kind of, I think it was like a 60-40, 70-30 split, depending on certain topics of the nuances of conversations with us. But it's cool to disagree with people, and we ain't come out fighting. We ain't come out disagreeing. Heck, he's on my panel again, so it's all good. So there you go.
I got some questions for DL.
Does it pertain, Gino, passport bros, or the relationship conversation as thus far, sir? Because if it does not,
well, it's he know I ain't got no smoke for him outside this. So
yes, I know. I done see. Shout out to Eater Man. What's good, Inky? What's good, Gray Pill? You know what I mean? Greetings to everybody. Thanks for having me. But yeah, I already know, man. When I come over here, yeah, I got my helmet on, got my body armor on. I'm ready. You know what I mean?
I keep it too neutral over here, bro. I promise you. You already know. Too neutral.
So I got a question. Do you feel like it's okay for married people to have two separate rooms and sleep in separate rooms and be roommates?
Well, all right, let's start here. What people do in their homes is their business. You know, if it works for them, great. Do I think that's what we would consider traditional, or what most people would consider traditional? Not today, but like sleeping, you know, go all the way back to television, you know, in the early years, bro. Like you watch The Honeymooners, you watch, you know what I mean, whatever you want to watch, Father Knows Best. When they had the bedroom scenes, it was always two beds. The husband was in one bed, wife was in the other bed. They never, I mean, I think it wasn't until the 60s, late 60s or early 70s when the husband and wife were actually in the same bed. And it was like everybody, it blew America up. Oh my God, they in the same bed. Like, bro. So there are people who, you know, live those lifestyles, man. Like they cohabitate. Basically, they're legally married. And for whatever reason, they decide to stay legally married and cohabitate and do it. You know, I know people who've done it like that. Not many, but a few. I wouldn't want to do it that way. But, you know, shit, who am I, man? What do I know? Man, I'm just an old man sitting in his attic talking to his computer, bro. Like, what do I know?
You're in the attic?
Well,
What's going on, do better?
I think television.
Go ahead, Inky.
I think television was also more censored back then, comparatively speaking to now. Because even like the Brady Bunch had two separate beds. Like, I think kids, when I was growing up and I watched the Brady Bunch and I would have saw like a dad and a mom in the same bed, I probably would have freaked out. I've been like, oh, this is like, you know, naughty TV.
Well, I do know little things. I'm not as humble as DL saying, and it don't work. I'm tell you this right here. It doesn't work. Like the day that y'all guys move is like, because the hardest part about marriage is to make sure that you guys stay together and go into the same direction. And I think so many people, like, once you draw that line and she get to sleep in her room and y'all become roommates, because y'all roommates at that point. If you got a room and y'all ain't sleeping in the same room, complete roommates, I just don't think it's a recipe for success. Now, can people be successful doing it? 100%. I definitely agree that you.
But see, that's where it comes back to that business part. That's what I was saying before. So if you're focused on that business part, it shouldn't matter if we're in the same bed. It shouldn't matter if we, like DL and Inky said, we're in two separate beds, but we're in the same room though. So if we about the business of marriage, you good, I'm good. Leave me alone.
I'm just saying that. Just imagine what you can do in your own room. Like I just like really start running down.
Sir, I'm in my own room right now.
the point.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say. Again, it boils down to the individual. I hear that and I think in my mind, man, that's kind of weird. Why not just leave? Like, you know, why not go on? But Gray Pill got a point. It's like, you know, if it's about the business, it's about the duty. If it's about, you know, the words that you said, right? The promises that you made, not just legally, but spiritually, you know, whatever, religiously. Maybe. I mean, I can't knock it, but I couldn't see myself in that existence. I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. I can't even, you know, try to bullshit you on that. I can't. I couldn't do it.
Do you know how mad I would be if I had to pay all these bills and lay in the bed by myself every night? Like, I just think I would go crazy. Like, I couldn't do it. Like, it's just not.
But here's another point, though. There are dudes paying all the bills, doing all that, laying in a bed next to a woman who refuses to be intimate with him.
But
that's
common. But that goes back to my golden rule. My golden rule in relationship is, if you want me to be monogamous, I must have unlimited access to your body. My monogamy costs some. That's my rule.
Inky,
What
your
about
thoughts?
the?
Hold on, there. Inky, your thoughts? Because you're a woman.
Okay, so okay, so he said he wants unlimited access. That was literally the last thing that I heard
To
to
your
your
body.
body. But okay, so are you meaning like in just like having a body warmth type?
No, I mean sex. No, I mean
Okay,
sex.
okay. So with that being said, when you get older, and it happens to everyone, there becomes a time when you're just not that active anymore. And I've heard this from my grandparents, etc., where they're just like, no, we just don't even do that anymore. It's just not in their daily regimen or weekly regimen or monthly regimen. Men can come up with issues, women can come up with issues where they just can't or don't feel like it or are incapable of doing it. And so that's where it goes back to learning to become friends and the courting scenario, where if you can't be friends with someone and all you have is basically hall sex, and that's the whole living as roommates, then then what's the purpose unless it is on a business factor? If you're in, I had a godmother once, and I'll try to keep it short. And I had my godparents, and they got divorced, but they still lived in the same house, slept in the same room, in the same bed, but they didn't do anything, but they stayed together for the kids. So the kids didn't feel like their parents were in separate homes, and they ran a business together. So theirs was a business relationship living in the same room. But they never had a relationship like that on that type of level. Does that make sense? So I can see it from both sides. Like if you're in an intimate relationship with somebody, and that's what we think of in the here and now, is I want my partner to be close to me. I want to be able to tuck my cold toes in the back of their calves. Yes. I mean, when we think of relationships in the here and now, but if you think of that same relationship in 30 years from now, being that I'm 50, when I'm 80, I might break a hip doing some crazy stuff like that, hanging off the side of the bed. So,
No, so hold on, but listen to what you said. You said they sleep in the same bed, but they got a divorce. Those two people are not monogamy. They're not practicing monogamy with each other, right? They're having sex with other people.
No.
So they're not having sex.
They lived as a married
for the rest of their life.
Yeah, they lived as a married couple, yet divorced, and built a business together.
Well, that's what I said. So, but
for the sake of their kids.
I know you might not know. So you saying that these people are born again virgins? They just don't have sex with nobody. They just gave up sex for the rest of their life.
Mm-hmm.
Nah, that's not an option for me. Like I'm just telling people that I'm transparent. I think a lot of dudes lie to women, and I think monogamy should cost something. The worst thing you can do is put yourself in a situation where you're being monogamy. First of all, to be monogamy is being with one person. You got to have sex. If you ain't having sex, I don't understand why you're monogamous.
So you don't. Like I understand because I'm hearing an individual conversation about the perspective you're giving for self, but at the same time, I'm sensing that that's like a disagreement on overall. So because it keeps sticking in my head about the whole business aspect, right? So if we're saying it's a business, nothing else should matter. If we're in separate beds, if we're separate rooms. Now I'm for the other. I am a component of. I don't believe in the separate bedrooms. I don't believe in the twin beds, one on the other room, one on the side of the room. But I have seen it for myself where family members like DL and Auntie said earlier, hey, my great uncle, my aunts, great elders is like 30-some plus years, and I come to their house and it's like, oh, where uncle? Oh, he in his room, meaning his bedroom. Or one's on the other end of the house, the other one's on the other end of the house. They might come together for family dinners. But when they do come together, they're not like, awkward moments or eye rolling because, they coming together. It doesn't be like that. So, but me personally, I prefer us in the same bed, because again, I give one example because these little nuances people don't pay attention to. Let's just say her, she might hurt herself or something might happen, or she might wake up with a cramp or a backache. You know what I'm saying? I want to be there, give her the back rub and stuff like that, or vice versa. Or somebody might wake up in the night with a pain or a sick. I want to be there. But if you're in separate rooms, I won't know. So that person could just drop and be deleted on the floor. I won't know until thinking it's the same routine. I'm like, oh, okay, Inky's all right. And then next thing you know, 5 o'clock in the afternoon, Inky been gone since 6 o'clock in the AM. So yeah. I would want you close to me.
And for a security standpoint, right? So, I want, personally, I want, my woman to be next to me in the same bed. I'm with E-Man up because I ain't trying to, why are you here if we ain't having fun time? You know what I mean? If we ain't doing all that. I'm with E-Man on that point. But
yeah, but is there a time limit though? Is there like a time limit though?
Well, it depends on, okay, I would say no, depending on what words you said, because I'm under the impression okay, we're married, we said the words, and I'm not a very religious man, but I do believe in giving my word. You know what I mean? If I said the words, I want to live up to those words, right? So that would have to be spelled out to me. The words will have to say, okay, we're gonna be in 2 separate rooms. You know what I mean? That's to me.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to do that. But the security point I want to make is, let's say you're in separate rooms and something, you hear a crash downstairs, like the window, someone broke a window or something, right? You want to go secure the house. I'm in a bad position. It's nighttime. I'm just woken out of my slumber. I'm trying to secure my home. I grab my weapon. I go to secure the home. I don't know where you are. So do I go deal with the threat or do I go find you? And if I go deal with the threat, have you left your room prior to me? It's dark. You know what I mean? So it brings up, there's a lot to deal with. So it's like, who is that? Is that a threat? Do I engage that target? Who is that? Do I engage that target? Where, you know what I mean? So there's all sorts of issues when you're talking about split rooms like that. But I do hear E-Man what he's saying. Like if I'm getting married, and most dudes, let's just keep it 100. Most men marry for the intimacy. That's a sacrifice they're willing to make. I am willing to be monogamous and forego all this other stuff so I can get access. I have intimate access to a woman. And then now, say a woman's like, nope, I'm not going to give you that. The dude is like, then what did I, you know what I mean? That was the whole point of this. You know what I mean? For most guys.
I tell dudes, don't get tricked out your position. Now, I'm a realist, right? So say, for example, my wife, she got cramp.
After you finish.
I said, she got a cramp. Like, this is a rule in my house, right? My wife have the right to tell me no, that she don't want to have sex. But within 24 hours, she's going to initiate sex, right? Like, she know that the clock start. Like, hey, tonight's ain't the night. Tomorrow morning, maybe later on that evening. Like this idea that you don't have rules. And I want to say, Great Pill kept saying, well, it's a business. If it's a business, the rest of this stuff doesn't matter. It does matter because in business, you have rules. You have bylaws. You have things that you operate your business on, what people can and cannot do. And the marriage is the exact same way. If I'm running this thing, quote unquote, like a business, I'm gonna have rules on why the things that I need to be in compliance. And I refuse to be in a sexless marriage. It's just not an option. It's not an option in my household. Now, being in a sexless marriage, kind of like Inky explained what she said, that they just living for the kids in there and they decided that they're gonna be abstinent for the rest of their life. That's just not in my cards, hands down.
Yeah, but I do understand though. That's still back on the individual person. Like some people marriage for companionship, some people marriage for the business, some people just get married like, hey, DL got a whole family lineage, and they're like, DL, we got the perfect wife for you. We know what your taste is, DL. You want the bad body, but at the same time, guess what she also would do for you? DL like, hey, let me see. They line up 5 women for you. Okay, cool. On the other end of the spectrum, the women already known and groomed and told, hey, this is DL. This is a prize for you. You got the house, you got the land, provision, protection, all that good stuff. So he's going to pick you, not the other way around. So you do have all those individual types of marriages out there. So people, I just want to put out there, people just need to understand that. So when you saying, E-Man, hey, this what it is, me personally, shout out to the Grey Pill Podcast. I see a lot of gray. We can't put it on absolutes all over. Just people understand these are types of marriages out there in the world.
Well, I'm gonna give you an absolute. Since you said we can't do it, I'm gonna do it. 90, I believe 90% of men want to have sex in their marriage. I can't look at a world that men. So that's the point. Is I'm just stating the reality of what men are thinking. I don't want to be in a sexless marriage. I don't care what you bring. Sex is one of the things I want you to bring to this marriage.
From a woman's perspective, I agree. I have to agree. Women do too.
Well, I would say this to add to Grey Pill's, list of why people get married, and tie this to, to the topic of the conversation, passport bros, right? Passport bros, they go out here and they go wherever they're gonna go to the different corners of the world, and they get these women. It's like, bro, you got to understand something, man. Like you're a guy who's not a top tier dude. You're a guy who's really a basement dweller who got a couple pennies, and you go off to some place to get this beautiful woman. Why is she really marrying you? Does she love you? Maybe, but I think it has everything to do with that citizenship. You, especially in getting back to America, and then you get back to America, you marry, and guess what? Now you're sleeping in your room across the hall, and she's in this room over here. You know what I mean? Just killing time. Another 6 months, and my papers are solid. Toodaloo, I'm out of here. You know what I'm saying? So I get where he's coming from, but people got to be gamed up. That's like my number one thing with passport bros. I'm like, man, if you don't have any game, man, they're gonna run your pockets over there. You know what I mean? Point blank, period. If you don't have any game, it ain't much difference between America, Colombia, Thailand, Eastern Europe. It's not really when it comes down to the game. And these dudes, most of these dudes don't have game. Then they come over, they get back home, realize they got their pockets ran, and now they mad. I'm like, just be happy you still got your kidneys, homeboy. You know what I mean? Because you were over there, they could have got you.
That's the least of your worries. Right. Take my pocket, not my kidneys.
So I have a question.
Sure.
And this is for DL, and I have to say this. So this is no different than what they used to call gold diggers back in the day, where a woman would marry for the fact of money, and yeah, she would do those things that you would want her to do, and you're getting your booty every night, and she's getting the paycheck. It's no different. It's not built on that love and affection that you're expecting. You're going to get a service no different than you swinging by the bunny ranch that every other day.
I mean, I would okay.
I think that's more of a fetish, though. I think, isn't that more of a fetish?
It could be. No, I get the point. That I think I get.
No, I'm agreeing with DL. I'm agreeing with him. Like,
go ahead, love.
I said I'm agreeing with you. I'm like, when you. So say I wanted to buy a groom. I don't know if they even have that. Buy a groom from overseas. It's how do you explain it? I'm doing this is like it's on a superficial basis. This is going to become I'm doing this for a purpose. I'm most likely not going to get that intimate feeling that I'm wanting, that E is saying he likes that intimacy and that requirement as far as the intimacy, where when you have a situation like that, like D is saying, this is I don't know. I think this is about business, and this goes back to what Grey Pill's saying. It's a revolving door on that level. If you are doing this from overseas, like with the papers and all that, and the likeliness of them up and leaving is very high.
You got to have that conversation, and vetting is a big component of it. Vetting is a big component of it.
So, all right, here's your red pill moment.
Hell yeah.
Right? Here's your red pill moment coming up right here, right now.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, so you can't buy a woman's burning desire and affection, right? Fresh and Fit says this all the time. Rollo Tomasi says this all the time. Rich Cooper says this all the time, and all the rest of them, right? And I agree.
I'm gonna be on their butt tonight, bro.
Right? You might have to. You might have to. You might have to. But we'll pocket that for later. We'll say that for a little bit later. But that fact, that's science. You cannot, like, if you go out with $50 or $1,000 and you buy some intimacy, it's only good for that hour or you negotiate it. She's really not in love with you. But there's also that where people say, well, you know, you got to take women out to eat. You got to take them on experiences. So in essence, you're buying it from them anyway. That's a little bit different, right? Like there's courting a woman and trying to get her, you know, take her out and do all this kind of stuff to get to the intimacy. Whereas going in is just say, hey, here's X amount of dollar on the barrelhead. Now, won't you get up on this barrelhead and let me smash? That is two totally things. The problem, I think, with these passport bros, because most of them lack game, is they're looking for a wife. They really want a wife that's going to love, honor, respect, cherish them. You know what I mean? Just going to like, you are my guy. You're the best I can get. These passport bros go over to these countries and they get with these women. These women know full on they can do way better than you. Way better than you, but they're okay taking your money. They're okay allowing you to believe that they're into you. They're giving you the intimacy. They get the marriage. They get the green card. They get back in America, and guess what? They throw you away, and they take right legally whatever they can take from you. A lot of women don't even take nothing because their mission was to get to America and bring their family over. So they
but DL, I'm not a passport bro, and I don't support them. But their whole mission is to keep those women in the country and to build a family with those cultural values. They're not bringing them back to America because they feel like if they bring them back to America, America can influence them, and then they're just like American women. So they're not bringing them back. That's not the goal for the passport bros.
If that's the case, they stand a better chance. But again, it boils down to, are you the best I can get? Right. And again, like if you got game as a passport, bro, it's on. You can do what you're doing in Colombia, just like you're doing what you're doing, you know, in Medellin, Colombia versus Columbia, South Carolina. It doesn't matter if you have game, right? A lot of these guys don't have game.
I just think it's a disservice because, first of all, I believe America is the best country in the world. And if I have kids outside of America, me not making them American citizen is a disservice to my kids, right? I think you've been born in America gives you the best chance. I know people might disagree with that, but that's just my stance. I just never could get down with the idea that I had to go 10,000 miles to find something that's all around me. It's so many women. Like I know people think I'm crazy when I say this, but it's so many women. You telling me I couldn't find one? Because legally in America, I can't have 3 wives. I only can have one. Like you tell me it was no good women around me? That's why I've never been down for the passport bros.
I think that's the problem. People not taking the real time to look, but you're taking the, I guess, and that mindset for those specific passport, because not all. I think they think it's on easy mode when you go overseas, but realistically, and I'm with you on this one. Just think of it. Let's on a financial situation. It's cheaper here. $40 to see, especially the type of woman. Because there was somebody in another chat. I think it was on Inky side. Somebody said no. It was an anti-passport bro. But somebody said I'm married. Me and my husband on a date, $40. And I say, yo, that's my type of woman. You know what I'm saying? So, but just imagine you have to come out of your pocket, travel overseas. DL and E can add the dollar amount on that. $2,000 a round trip. That's number one. Then you get there just to stay there. So almost another $1,000 for a lengthy period of time. Then you're spending food, whatever you got. I know, man. I'm lowballing the deal. I know I'm lowballing it.
No, you're not. You're way high, bro. You high. You're way high. Oh God, yes. You're way high. And if you want to get into, yes, way too much. So if you want to look at, if we're just looking at cost analysis, right, and return on investment, right? If you're looking at ROI, it is cheaper to womanize. If we're just talking about womanize, we're just talking about smashing or looking for a potential wife. It is cheaper to do that in South or Central America, right? Because we want to keep the money short. If you're gonna do it in North America, you want to do it in Mexico, all right? So you want to keep the money short for $2,000 in America, right? If we're in Miami, if I'm in Miami and I'm with a woman who's a good woman, she's not, a gold digger. She's not one of them, quote unquote, whatever podcast girls or fresh and fit podcast girl. She's like just a cool woman doing, and I want to take her out for a night on the town, right? I'll bullshit aside from me. Dinner, like movie dinner in a lounge, I'm looking at spending probably close to $1,200.
Ain't no way, bro.
No way, bro. dinner at Mr. Child's, going to a lounge, getting a bottle. You know, going to a lounge, getting a bottle. You're looking at maybe $700-800. Dinner at Mr.
That's
Child's.
why I don't drink. That's why I don't drink. See, you gotta get a woman who don't drink.
Now, of course, right?
Chad,
now, of course.
Stay out of Miami. Stay out of California.
But here's the thing. But my point being, even if you do it, okay, we're gonna do it in Cincinnati, Ohio, right? I'm born and raised in Cincinnati. That's where I'm from. Even if you go out, the average cost of a date in Cincinnati, Ohio, is still gonna run you what, $300 if you're growing up, you know, you halfway successful, $400, right? Let's call it $500. Now, I can get on a plane in Cincinnati for $500. That's round trip to Medellin. That's round trip to Medellin, $500. Get to Medellin, that same dinner date, doing all the same stuff in Miami, is going to cost maybe $300 as opposed to $1,200, right? That Cincinnati date is going to cost me $50 as opposed to $500. And the quality of woman, when you're talking about, you know, men love beauty and youth and all that, nothing, ain't no offense to anybody who got thin skin, but the most beautiful women I've ever seen in the world in mass was in Medellin, Colombia. Right, I was told by Colombian women, like, if you love Latinas and you want the finest Latinas in Colombia, go to Medellin, and they weren't lying. Right, so
this is Angelus from the Grey Pill Podcast. He is speaking for himself. He do not speak for everybody here, so that's his preface. And shout out to his perspective.
Now, if you're into Asian women, go to Thailand, go to China, go to South Korea, Japan, whatever you like is whatever you like, right? In America, it's truly the mix of pot. It's all right here.
Let me just say this: if you really want the most beautiful Asian woman in the whole world,
this is Angelus from the Grey Pill Podcast. E-Man also is speaking for himself and giving suggestions and tips for all. So go ahead, E-Man, have your business.
So, like, I have saw a whole bunch of Asian stop. I done seen a whole bunch of Asian women in my life, and I thought they was all right. My first time seeing a Laos woman, I was like, golly.
Laotian women are beautiful. They are beautiful, bro.
Hands down.
If that's what you into, whatever you into, you can find it. But it's all here. America is the melting pot. But the point being, I went on a long tangent to come to this point right here.
I know what you're trying to do.
It's way cheaper in other countries, y'all. Way cheaper. So yeah, bro. Like I could stay at a hotel that's equivalent to the W in Medellin. It might cost me maybe $100 a night. Maybe that same hotel in America is gonna cost me like $400 or $500, $600 a night.
But yeah, we ain't doing that. We talking about picnic dates. I'm gonna make a couple sandwiches and some chicken.
As you should. I'm a proponent of ice cream days, brother. I hear you. When I'm in America,
now you speaking my language.
Yeah, I do that.
If you can't do a picnic date with me, we ain't meant for each other.
Yeah, and I'm with you on that. But you know, most guys, but women hate coffee dates in America. You see that all over TikTok, and they hate it.
Inky, you hate coffee dates? Inky, you hate coffee dates?
Coffee dates. I want a steak dinner.
But Grey Pill, listen, that's how me and my wife went to get coffee and just had a conversation. Like, I was looking for somebody who was truly into me. I didn't want to be into.
If I cook you steak, Inky, is that if I cook you steak?
You mean if I cook you steak? I don't know. I'm a pretty good griller.
All right. Child just said that. Robbie sitting there telling me she good in the kitchen too. I'm still waiting for her. She made her have a well, first of all, I got two challenges. I wait for the real Nathan Daly. I don't know what's going on. He's ducking me like an ex-girlfriend or something. So I gave him a formal.
That's my dude.
I gave him he doesn't mind the base. I gave him a formal letter in my community tab. So I'm waiting for, and he already accepted. So I'm waiting for him. It's been 4 months. So the real Nathan Daly, I'm waiting for that friendly debate, man, so we can get this cracking. And two, low key Robbie ducked me too. She says she can cook better than me. I don't think so. You know, she's about the 5-star meals. You know, so shout out to her. I'm not. My pockets talk to me differently. I get trauma. I ain't gonna lie.
I have to say, I like it when a gentleman can cook, because then I don't feel like I have to cook every single day.
Okay.
So those are like things in a relationship that like I can totally get down with. Someone who wants to be in the kitchen with me or doesn't mind helping do chores with me, and it doesn't seem like, well, I've been how those are those little arguments that can start. Well, I've been cleaning the house all week and you haven't done nothing. You know what I mean? So a relationship is about a group effort. And, you know, yeah.
I mean,
I've been there.
This. I'll say this about the, you know, the manosphere, the manoswamp, however you want to look at it. The problem I see is there's a lack of game, there's a lack of awareness of on the man's side of the game. Women understand what's going on, and dudes get mad because they don't have any game. They don't see what's happening. You know, when they go up to some woman that they don't necessarily qualify for, this woman really isn't into him, and she demands that, you know, take me to Nobu, right? She's never been to Nobu. She don't even know what Nobu is. She just saw it on someone's TikTok, right? And some dude is foolish enough to take her, and then get mad when she's like, okay, after dinner, bye. And then, you know, he gets mad. I put that on the dude. I did. The red pill, yes, it has its issues, and there's a lot of people out there. You know, these men are looking for answers. A lot of these men are looking for leadership. So you have people like me and Rich Cooper and some others who are like, look, bro, this is the game. No one taught you the game. Pay attention. Lucario's real good for this. Shout out to Lucario. This is the game. Understand it and move accordingly. Don't go out there and be the dummy. I'm with you, Grey Pill. First date for me, you getting ice cream more smoother. We're going to have a walk. I'm not taking you with me to dinner on the first date. I'm not doing that.
I'm broke, busy, and cheap, bro. Like I'm never gonna lie on that one. I've been saying this since I even been on this side of the spectrum podcast. I'm broke, busy, cheap, and ugly. Like, you take it out is. I'm not raising no bar higher than what that conversation goes from there. Once we meet up or have a conversation, it's like, let's get to know each other. I mean, we're already getting to know each other via phone, and shout out to Gino. I'm still rooting for Gino. You know, we're still getting to know each other on the phone conversations, on the FaceTime, but even still, you got to have real conversations, like, and especially with Gino, because Gino like, yo, 9 months, when I meet this chick, oh, we having babies. I'm like, I'm putting the ring on her finger. I'm like, Gino, 9 months, really? But you got, now, it kind of lean back to what he's saying. Maybe Gino mindset is about the business, right? So Gino like, yo, but she already have kids. So again, you got to have those real conversations. What do that look like? Because I even tell you this, E, another caveat to that. She has the 2 children. One of them is like 18, 19, but the other one's like a little bambino, like toddler, like 5, 6. So when you get there, you talking about having babies and putting a ring on this chick, and then, but you still is a U.S. citizen, and she's, you know, a citizen of Panama. Like,
I tell folks all the
it's
time,
cheaper it's cheaper to stay here.
It's cheap. Well, no, if you don't have any game, it's cheaper to stay here, because whatever's going to happen to you here is going to happen to you over there. I guess the one,
even if you got game, got game, you can still. I said date wise, but I'm saying, like, if you just a relationship, because there's places like one's Philippines, one's Southeast Asia. You mentioned Mexico's another one. You know, if you're in Texas, oh, you good. You a hop and skip. You good. But you don't really have to come out of your pocket. Now, if you're saying not the passport bros, but if you're just an expat and you say, yo, I want to venture out and check this country out. I'm here for 3 to 5 years. You're going to find somebody, but you know your pockets ain't going to be stretched out because you know the area, boots on the ground, you good anywhere you go. But if you are a U.S. citizen, you're here, generally speaking, it's so cheaper. You got your own place, your own vehicle. You got the basic necessities. A woman going to come across you like, look, you already know in the South, bro. A woman just like a regular normal woman, like, yo, if he got his own place, his own car, and just got a job, oh, he's winning.
Mm-hmm.
Ah, man, I don't know. We can agree to disagree on that one, bro. It's not cheaper. And dealing with women today, man, you really got to know what you're doing. And I tell young guys all the time this, and because I get mad at myself because I wasted my youth, right? The best part of my life, the prime of my life, I wasted chasing women. Right now, I got some good stories and I had some fun, but, you know, I sat down and actually thought about it. I'm like, man, how much money did I leave on the table by chasing women? And it's somewhere in the neighborhood of $5 million. When you look at it, I should have been focused on buying real estate. I should have been focused on my portfolio. I should have been focused, you know, really, you could argue it could be north of $10 million. I knew about Bitcoin when Bitcoin was less than $1 a coin. Mm-hmm. I had people trying to convince me to buy it. Like, dude, just, and I talk to my buddy about this all the time. The only reason I would have given him $1,000 if he just asked for it. If he just said, hey man, let me get $1,000, I'm gonna make this investment, I would have gave it to him. He was like my workout buddy, still is to this day. Real cool cat. We're close. I'd have gave him $1,000. But he thought he had to explain to me how, you know, blockchain works and all that. I was lost. Like, what? But I was so busy chasing women, I left so much money on the table. I tell these young guys today, you're in the prime of your life, man. You should be out here chasing excellence. Don't chase women. Don't chase women. Shout out to Rich Cooper. He says that all the time. Because in America, man, you'll find it in most cases the juice isn't worth the squeeze, especially if you're talking about getting married in America. That's why I'm kind of like, nah, bro, it's gonna cost you a lot of money.
It's not. Listen. See, what cost you a lot of money was chasing a whole bunch of women, not one woman. Listen, I learned this a long time ago. People ask, why was I so big on getting married? It's because when me and my wife first, she had a job. And she actually, I think she was making as much money as I was before we started having kids. Like, it's not going to cost me like all the investments that you're talking about. I made it because I chose a woman and we had the extra income because my money was going to bills. Her money was going towards investments. Like the idea of, chasing multiple women, but finding a wife will put you in the best place financially, in my opinion. Even if I had to split half of what we created, it still would be more than what I would have had by myself, in my opinion.
Allow me to say this, and I tell people this all the time, especially the young guys and old guys in the manosphere world. If you find the right woman, that is the key to success. I tell dudes all the time. The right woman will 1000x whatever you're doing. But if you choose the wrong woman, she will utterly destroy you. And that goes for women too. If you choose the right man, you're good to go. If you choose the wrong man, you're going to get wrecked. That is the key. So I tell young men, forget all that. Focus on you, chase excellence. But yes, if you come across a great woman, I agree with you, Eda man. I agree with you. She could, 1000x whatever you're doing. I've seen it. I've absolutely seen it.
Yeah, but but how though? Because again, back to my good buddy and best friend, Gino. Gino said he's 51 years old. He was married the first time. He found the love of his life, got married, brought her over here. 7 years later, it didn't work out. Now he's trying again, found another beautiful one. She got 2 children. And also another caveat, E-Man, she was also married in the past too. So how can a man like Gino?
I keep telling you, Gio, he's so weird. He need to go to a matchmaker. He need to find a professional to do it for him because he ain't got it. He ain't got what it takes to find a good woman. I'm going to go ahead and say that.
I don't know this brother, but I question his game. I question his science. You know what I mean? Game knowledge.
Game is not. It's not even in the question.
And therein lies the problem. You can't do that. You just can't do that. Maybe this brother needs to find religion. Maybe he should go within the church or religious spaces, or maybe he should turn to politics or something. I don't know.
Said he don't got time to waste. He 51. He don't got time to waste.
Well,
I'm quoting him. I'm quoting Gino.
And he done. If I was to talk to that brother, I'd be like, all right, you done there, man. Good luck to you, brother. You know what I mean?
He tell you the part that he done paid for her lips. He done paid for her teeth to get fixed. He done cashed out. He should have just got a matchmaker. At least he would have had better odds. Because it's gambling. Relationship is gambling. But he can't choose them by himself.
I can't say I've ever been that lucky. It must be nice.
But to have a guy do that for you?
Do what?
You say you haven't been that lucky to have somebody do that for you? Have a guy do that for you?
Nope. I was always the breadwinner.
But you was married for 27 years, right?
17.
Oh, you was a breadwinner?
Yeah.
Hey, I would never leave you.
Are you amused? Are you amused in the chat? She said she would love to live in Korea for a couple of years. I lived in Korea in 1994. Back then, Korea was affordable. It was a different Korea. Not recently, but I was in Korea about 8 to 10 years ago, something like that. It is completely different. Korea is expensive. That whole, like, all of Korea, like all of Seoul is like, Gundam style, bro. I mean, it's bread, because we were in the hood. The hood done changed. Like it's growing up, but I feel though, it's good to get out and check other cultures. I had a great time in Korea. I was out there Yobo-seon with the best of them. I was learning my little Korean, doing my little thing. But go ahead.
But you gotta remember, Korea was messed up because of them soldier and them juicy girls. They put too much money into that economy, and now it costs too much there. Like before, the soldiers just was like tricking off the way that they was. Korea wasn't that expensive, hands down.
That might be a good conversation for next time, Dio, because I can't argue with that because I've never been there. But I've been seeing it's an expat. I can't remember his name, but he has a lot of good listings for Southeast Asia. I don't think it was Korea though, but it was a lot of good places in Southeast Asia that's affordable.
Hell yeah, Golden Triangle,
Mexico just on
Vietnam.
point. Yeah, Mexico was just on point because it was a condo / villa that's almost like 2 stories high, and you can like be outside. When you get higher, the climate's different than versus just being on the ground because the mosquitoes and bugs is like there, so they actually raised it up, and the cost of food because him and his girlfriend, I think that's who she is, they were showing like all the exotic foods, even down to the bottle of champagnes and wine, less than $100, almost all you can eat. It was crazy.
It ties back to what we were saying before. Oh, go ahead, bro.
You just got to remember, most Americans can't live like that. Like moving out of the big city, into a rural area, you don't speak a language. It's really hard for people who's not trained for that type of lifestyle to adjust to that. Most people live in the big cities because it's more convenient. The grocery, it's like most people can't move to Mexico and thrive in that economy because, first of all, they don't even speak the language and they don't know how to be successful in that type of economy.
Well, that's why they got to do the homework. It comes back to the vetting process. You got to do the homework. There's some parts of Mexico that matter of fact, screw it. Back on the Philippines, when I was doing my homework with that, where they speak like 8, 9, 10, 11 dialects, but number one is like they go to school, it's automatically like English is learned. So that will be helpful for you, but it still come back to a money part, right? Save up your money enough to say, hey, I'm gonna make a month trip, at least a month, to say, hey, this is something I want to be to stay. Then do your homework on jobs. There's remote works. There's type of job you can get either there or a remote job to say, hey, you have to get certified, go to school for it. It doesn't take that much. 6 weeks to 8, or some is a few months to get classified there. I got a buddy who pretty much was teaching helping people from overseas to learn English a little bit better. So he was getting paid that way. That's another option for other people, but people need to take the time out to do it. Hell, you can actually, I don't want to say be on cheat mode, but like Mexico, Philippines, maybe some part easier, but we'll use Mexico, for example, as a cheap route, right? So let's just say you save your regular job and then you say, hey, well, I paid a year off for rent, but I want to go visit Mexico for like a month, and then I want to go visit another one that's about in the same price range of whatever it is. Save your money, go there. There's an app or something you can use to give you maybe like $10 every other day, and it builds up to like what, and maybe $100 a week. That can get you through.
So I would say this, bro, and you're right. I would say this. There are a lot of Americans looking for other options outside of America because America is expensive. Let's keep it 100.
I'll be back. I froze.
And with remote work, with remote, you can work anywhere. So we were talking about, Asia, right? You look at the Golden Triangle, right? Vietnam, Laos, Cambodia. Great. If you can get over there, great. People talk about Mexico. I tell folks all the time, man, be careful. You going down to Mexico, be real careful in Mexico. Mexico is run by the cartels. So you need to be real careful. You can get chopped up down to Mexico. So be careful about that. But the homie Big Dice and the chat, he's right. Right. Everywhere they got problems, you just got to know where you're going. And Americans can do well and thrive so long as remote work is a thing. If that were to end, yeah, you got a problem. But and as far as like the language and all that, man, Duolingo, if you go hard on Duolingo for a month, you can be conversational English, conversational level, whatever language you're looking at, be it Vietnamese, Korean, Japanese, Spanish, you know what I mean? It just, if you commit to it and do the work, you can make that happen. But you just gotta be careful.
You gotta like, so you have interacted with police in other countries, right?
I have.
I know we think America is so horrible, but it's just a level of peace here. That's what's fun. Like, it's a level here of peace, and I know it costs more money, and I know some people feel that they can't live such a extravagant lifestyle. The one thing that I love, I remember we just came back from, we was in Australia. We had a good time. We spent money. We ate good, and I just like to come home. And it might just be me and my ways, but I think it comes down to I wouldn't want to stay permanently in another country. I like to visit. The longest I go is 30 days. I'm okay with going 30 days, but saying I'm going to live in that type of environment for the rest of my life, I just can't see it for myself.
I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. I give myself about 5 years, maybe 6. I'll be living at least half the time in Colombia. I'll be living in Colombia half the time. I'll be in Medellin, and I'll be living, everywhere else. So I'll be traveling or whatever. But half the time I would be in Colombia, and maybe 2 or 3 months out the year I would be in Miami. That about as close, as deep as I would get into America. And the only reason I would move around America was for business reasons. And this is coming from a soldier. This is a guy who fought for this country. This is a guy who suffered and bled for this country. I will always love America, but I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. I'm ready to go. You know what I mean? I'm ready to go. And especially now the dollar is strong. Again, South and Central America looks real good. Like whenever I'm in Mexico, we talked about police. You asked me if I had interactions with law enforcement from other countries. If I'm in a place like Mexico, not only do I interact with law enforcement, but I pay the cops to hang out with me. I'll get there, talk to a police officer, pay him some money. Wherever I go, he with me, right? Because I don't want to carry a weapon. I got him. He's the weapon. You know what I mean? So do I? I don't have I don't have to do that in South Korea. I don't have to do that in Japan. I won't go back to China. I just won't go back to China. But I can do that in Central and South America. You can do that in some Eastern European countries. You just got to be, you got to think about it and be smart about it.
I don't know. I like to, I don't know. I'm good here, but if I think I find something a little bit more comfortable, equal to where I living now, because I ain't gonna lie, bro, I'm big on internet. If I go to play Philippines, it was good, but at the same time, the internet, the brownouts they have, like every random internet just go off. I'm like, this is a red flag for me.
But Great Pill, crazy as it sound, I can go off grid. Like if I had to get rid of internet for like 3 months, I'd be cool. Long as my family with me. Let me say that.
I could do 3 months.
Like if my wife and my kids with me, like I love going on cruises. That's my biggest thing. And people like, I remember my daughter's like, she's like, you make all this money, can we get the internet package? Nope, I don't want people to be able to get in contact with me. I don't even want it. So I like doing that. That's just me though.
I could do 3 months, but I don't know. Maybe it's still on me with the whole internet thing. So because I've done it here, April, the whole month I celebrate me for my birth month, and then the May I was using it pretty much just reaching out to you and Madrell guys just to get the band back together for the podcast. But that was like 2 months. I can do 3 months. I don't know. I think it's just the convenience of just having the conveniences of things for me. But I wouldn't mind visiting. But if I find something a little bit close to, I guess I won't say Shangri-La because that's a little bit too strong a word. But if it's a little bit comfortable, cost effective, and of course if it's a companion, but you got to love yourself. So me, myself, and I'm good by myself. But if it's a person next to me and she likes to travel too, or if it's like, hey, we picked this spot to hang out a little bit longer, let's go.
Can you move back to Africa? Can you? If they told you had to move back to Africa, could you move back?
You talking to me?
No. First of all, I don't know who they are. Oh, I know he's talking to me. I don't know who they are, but they are. Yeah, whoever they are. But stuff that I heard through and did a little bit of homework. So my new person, 2 people, they actually got house and land. They went back to Africa, but in certain parts of Africa, there's a shout to Peso Man because he pretty much just antagonized a lot of passport bros. But I do see some value to stuff that people say on his channel dealing with Africa. Me personally, no. Would I visit? Yes.
Africa got internet. Certain parts of Africa, internet real strong. You got
certain parts of Japan, China, Germany, they got good internet too.
So you saying that you would want to be in a first world country, not a third world country? Because if you go to places like Japan is just as expensive as America.
But see, now put my ignorant hat on, right? Because I don't know that much. So I would literally have to do my homework on a lot of stuff like that. Because when I think of Japan and China, well, just say Japan. I'm like a geek anime fanatic. So if I think of Japan, I'm thinking like, oh, the glitter. Like I know for a fact, like me and somebody's supposed to have like a Mario Kart online competition, right? On my gaming channel. So I know for a fact there's like an actual real street racing of Mario Kart you can do in Japan. So I'm like, ooh, but at the same time, like here's the ignorant part. I don't know the dangers and the culture how Japan does. So it's like that wouldn't be my first place to go. Even though it got great internet, it just wouldn't be my first place. So I would really, really, really have to do my homework on stuff like that. But Africa, far as I know, visit to live, no.
Well, so I'm trying to figure out what place do you think would be better to stay in than America?
I don't know. I have to do my homework.
Australia.
Go ahead, Inky. Go ahead, Inky.
You said Australia?
Australia.
Australia? Ooh,
Mhm.
no.
Why you say that, Inky?
So you can put. No, I was just being kidding.
She wants to get one of them
But they-
Outback dudes.
Because they
Bruh.
got the cute little animals. They just got big spiders.
They got
You
the
do know-
that's the most dangerous place in
Thank
the
you,
world.
thank you, Inky.
Everything over there kill you. Everything problem kill you over there.
Them spiders are huge.
Oh
We was,
man.
we was like in when we get to Australia, it's like you want to go through the mountains? Nope.
Nope.
If it's the if you haven't laid pavement, we don't want to go. We don't want to go no outbacks, no top backs, we don't want none of that.
Say everything kill you over there. But I mean, that's a good. People tell me it's a great place to visit. I had plans to go to Sydney, and didn't go for. We canceled the trip. I want to stop in and visit Australia at least once. It'll probably be a quick trip. I really want to go to New Zealand. Look, New Zealand is very scenic, very pretty. I want to check that out.
Somebody mentioned
So if I'm in that part of the world, I hit that up.
If you go to Australia, first of all, you gotta go to the Great Reef. It's gonna be the most. I think when you talk about colors in the eyes, you'll see colors that you didn't think exist in the Great Reef. The second thing I said is you gotta try the kangaroo. You gotta try the kangaroo. So good over there. If you go and don't go to some backyard place. Go to a nice restaurant, like almost like a steakhouse, and try the kangaroo. It's bomb.com. I'm telling
They
you.
got steak kangaroo?
Like eat it?
The kangaroo? Yeah. Eat the kangaroo?
Eat the kangaroo.
Man. I don't want to eat the kangaroo. They so nice. They got a pouch. I don't want to do that.
Listen,
if the meat good though, I don't know. I might have to try.
Hold on. Y'all eat deer.
Let me out!
So y'all would try deer. Y'all would try because a kangaroo is in so many words a deer on two legs. But okay, trust me,
Deer ain't got no pouch.
Bro, you just compared a deer to a kangaroo.
The meat,
look at their faces and stuff like that, bro. I mean, one's more soupy, one has a pouch. I get where you're coming from, though, bro. They kind of, I get where I get what realm he's in. Why not try it?
Game meat.
It's not gamey. So that's why I said go to a nice restaurant to cook it correctly. Because when I ate it, like we were just like, because when me and my wife traveled, we was like, we gonna try stuff that we wouldn't try in America. That's the whole point of us coming our way over here. And the dude, he brought it out and it was cut like a steak. I ate it. I said, it can't be that good. Let's come back tomorrow and order a different type of seasoning. Man, it's bomb. It's good.
Hey man,
Ashley said she ate kangaroo. Ashley, let me know if you want the link to talk about the kangaroo steak and grill. Like, did you capture the kangaroo and then went ahead and sauteed it overnight and ate it? Let us know. If you want the link, let me know.
But that's a big thing on their menus. Like, like you go to a steak restaurant and steak is on my menu. Like that's like a big thing.
Yeah, and shout out to Ashley, sister Ashley, and brother Mandrill. He was like, he's saying kangaroos are assholes. Mandrill got problems with everything on earth, bro. I tell you what, man, that's my favorite Green Beret, but he got problem with everything on earth.
Kiss up to him. Yeah, I agree. I think he's
my guy.
I think so too.
He airborne, man. You know what I mean? A Green Beret, that's a real G.I. Joe right there. That's my guy, man. But damn, I'm like, man, you got a problem with everything, man. Like, yeah, I'm starting a rock collection, man. I hate rocks, man. What kind of rocks you getting on your rocks, man? Rocks, bro.
You know what? Fair enough, because I don't know. I'm kind of weird like that too. I had somebody at work was like, what did they say? They said, you don't smile. I'm like, I came here to work. Like, what am I smiling for? Like, what's going on? Yeah. Shout out to Mandrill. I'll let him speak for me from time to time.
But the passport bro thing, man, because I mean, I've been waiting a couple of days. I'm like, I was hoping to catch this stream because I'm like, oh, passport bros. I'm not trying to knock them, but man, they need game, man. These guys, everyone's looking for cheat codes, man. No one wants to do the work. Men out there, again, another red pill moment. You have to do the work, gentlemen. Don't be mad because women can just be pretty and the whole world is at their feet. I get so many dudes get mad. Man, that girl didn't have to do nothing to get on the boat. You know, she at the yacht party. She at the mansion party. Like, cause she fine, bro. Quit crying. You know what I mean? Get your
I
money
agree.
up and get the boat. Get the
I'll
boat.
go ahead, E-Man, then I'll let you get your final thoughts off, and then
But people don't realize the advantage that we have as men. Once I gain it, I get to keep it. With women, somebody can take it from them at any time because it was given to them. So I know, like, people play that game that, people play this game that they got it easier, but I really think that it's like a false sense of reality because we really have it because we get to keep it, if that makes sense. But I appreciate this. Don't be a passport, bro. You know, I'm an advocate of going to get your woman next door. So I'm gonna say that. And Gino, go get a matchmaker, man. Be the best. It'd be the best money Gino ever spent in his life. Because I know he getting inbox right now. He was tricking off hard. You know what? He about 60,000 in. Somebody that's trying to
Inky, you better get on, girl. Inky better hit him up.
Hey, Inky, and never work again that day. She get with Gino. Gino giving you his life savings. You just gotta give him a baby, just one baby.
That's all he want.
You can rent that.
Just
Go ahead and
one.
rent to a baby.
Appreciate you guys. Talk to y'all guys later. Y'all have a good night. All right.
Thank you.
Either man got to go before I gave him a hard time, man. He's a Falcons fan. I'm a Cincinnati Bengals fan. He got away before I get to talk. I was gonna talk some trash. I get him next time.
Yeah,
how about them Bengals though?
Yeah, I'm weird. Everybody probably might come at me. I don't care about sports like that, so I already know how that goes.
Are you communist, bro? What's wrong with you? You don't like sports?
I have a lot of likes and dislikes, so it is what it is. It's crazy. Like I think I'll find some people that they'll like this sports fanatics, and I'm like, all right, cool, whatever. It is what it is. Yeah, you had some. I'm sorry, Inky. I see your mic just unmuted.
Oh, it's just because my earbud died, so I just didn't know if it would like echo back into the system, and then I would have a weird echo.
Okay, cool. We could do closing thoughts on the whole Gino, but go ahead if you have any extra stuff to share out.
So about this passport bros. Well, if we think back, 1,500 years ago, in the Jewish religion is, they did have matchmakers and they would match people up with their prospective wives back then. And they also did it through I think they do it in Asia too, where they go by your birth chart and things like that. Those types of things have been around for a long time of finding compatibility. And in a lot of cases, they also check DNA to make sure your DNA is compatible. And then here, in Western civilization, we do, if you're equally yoked. So every culture has its own version of, kind of like that passport thing, like the matchmaking type. I guess they would call it a business, their matchmaking type business. Mm-hmm. And, so it's been around for a long time. It's not anything that's new. And if that makes that person happy, then so be it. If they can, have a happy, long marriage out of it, have at it.
I agree. I will add to this, and I'll let DL do his closing thoughts. I think when it comes to that, I think again it comes to the awareness. I think that's what DL saying. On all the spectrum, young and old, the awareness part of it. If you're going on a app, be aware of the app. If you're what either man was suggesting, go to the dating site. Do your homework on that too, because there's some guys that will, quote unquote, trick you and make you a lick out of that one too. Like use you for the money to get you and just play around and get you some random chick and say, oh, this is the girl for you. You have to, there's places out there that's legitimately will actually go out their way to find the best type a woman for you. And as they're doing that, they'll try, like DL said, they'll try to give you some advice and stuff like that to coach you a little bit, and motivate you to, to put you in that right direction of what you say you want. Right. That's just pretty much how it goes. Now, if it's a business, understand what you're going to get out that business. Again, back to E-Man. Part of E-Man said, hey, ain't no way I'm going to bed and we ain't smashing. Okay, cool. That's your criteria. What you want for your marriage. So I would say for Gino and any other delusional, unexperienced, unaware guy out there who want to travel abroad, be careful what you're getting yourself into, because you go there and you make mistakes. Like you go there, see something, you complain, it F's up for you, and you come back home and complain. You're what? you didn't do this, you didn't do that. Yeah, but yeah, it ain't no they. It's a you now. It's a you. So yeah, what you got for us, brother?
Great show, bro. Thanks for having me on, man. This is man, I like coming over here. I know everybody thought that first day, man, they thought it was gonna be a fight. They were like, oh man, Great Pill and DL same. They finna go at it. And
we might make a new one. Just let them think like we're just gonna just curse each other out.
I was on the thumbnail with our hands on. So but yeah, man, I like it over here, man. Salute to the chat, man. You got a great chat, man. Salute to all y'all. Respect to all y'all, man. For those I know and for those I don't know. Back in the day, to kind of piggyback on what Sister Inky was saying, people got married for different reasons. And it wasn't an individual thing, it was a family thing. Families were merging. And remember, wives came with dowries back in the day. It was like, the farmer's family is marrying into the manufacturer family or the storekeeper's family or whatever. And it was a way to tie the two families together, to tie the business together and to grow. So you didn't have any choice. It wasn't about you being happy. It was about you providing and growing the families, right? So that's off the table now. That's no longer a thing. So, we did talk about America, in divorce. I mean, someone was in the chat was saying, why do men complain about having to pay during divorce? Because they don't understand the game. It's a lack of knowledge, a lack of understanding of the game. Any man gets married today and gets divorced and they wind up paying or whatever, and they, paying alimony, paying child support, whatever. You can't get mad, bro. You should have known that going in. So, and I tell folks, why get married in America? Doesn't make any sense. At least you can have the baby. Like, you don't even need to be married anymore today. So, and it's not a gender thing. And this is something that women are going to find out as we move forward. Women like Keke Palmer, there's some other real famous women that already know this. Whoever makes the most money in family court is the one getting wrecked. And then people are talking about prenups. Well, Kevin Costner had a prenup and he's currently getting wrecked. So,
hell yeah.
Right. So it depends on the situation. Just understand the game. If you know the game isn't working into your favor, why engage? Right. So that's the thing. When people talk to me and like, when Great Pill brought me on here, he was like, this is a red pill dude. But the way I look at red pill is truly like the movie. I'm unplugged. I see the code for what it is. I move accordingly. Right. That's just how I do it. There's a lot of crazy talking points over there in the red pill world. There's a lot of crazy talking points over there in the mainstream blue pill world. But at the end of the day, people are getting wrecked, and those who aren't getting wrecked are the people who understand the game. Look at Jonah Hill, right? Look at what's going on with Jonah Hill and that his ex who's mad because she lost the #1 slot to some other chick. Because she mad, she went out and put all that stuff out there. That was the dumbest thing she could have possibly done, because now nobody's going to mess with her for real. They already see what it is, right? She didn't understand the game. And Jonah's out here with this other woman, and this other woman, she don't want, right? She got his baby. She's got the #1 slot. She's happy. So just understand the game, y'all. And Passport Bros, if you don't have any game in America and you think you're going to do something over in Colombia or Thailand or wherever, it's going to be the same outcome, bro. I hope you hold on to your kidneys. I just hope you come home with your kidneys, bro. So that's all I got to say about that.
Bro. Come after him, Passport Bros. Come after him. Yeah, but I appreciate that deal. But I honestly, like, I had all my thanks and gratitude goes to the chat, only because networking is fun. You'll find through a lot of toxic spaces, you will find a lot of good people. I'll use Ashley, for example, Inky, the Canadian spaces. I make a joke about it, but I was like, I might divest and become a Canadian, because I was like, the Canadian space is just so cool and friendly. They do casual jokes here and there, nothing really personal. even if one disrespects you, they'll go off their own way. You don't really see them. They'll come back with an apology. So I appreciate the Canadian spaces, even if the family, the husband and wife dynamic, Mr. and Mrs. Vic that I interviewed a while ago. So I give all the kudos to networking and to the spaces you find out there. And if people say, you know what, you sound like you that guy, so we're going to support you and we'll see how everything goes. And they're in the chat, so I appreciate them for doing that. I work very hard for each subscriber down to a thumbnail. Most people take like a 5-minute to do a thumbnail. Hey, I'm on that bad boy like Picasso. So I appreciate everybody for coming on through for that one. And what else? Oh, you mentioned about the celebrities. I agree with you wholeheartedly with everything you said. I'm not going to argue that one, but I will say this. I think us regular folks, conflate and project so much on these celebrities like Keke Palmer and anything else, as if like we trying to tell other people what to do with their relationship, especially celebrities, which is crazy. And you more of a, I'm not gonna say you're not, but I feel like you're a celebrity because you do the comedy, you be around, so you're there on that level, more of a surface to see what I can't see, right? So you're saying it. So it's like I can't tell somebody else what to do when it might be, hey, we don't even know. And I'm just throwing out like maybe it's a gossip. I don't know. They might be doing that just for the clout. Nobody even thought about that. They might doing that just for the buzz of it. And everybody else is just acting out and react to something that is not your wife. It's not your girlfriend. You're not in a relationship. That's not your baby. That's not your kid. Stay in your own little bubble. Yeah, but I appreciate you. I appreciate Ed crashing the party. I appreciate you crashing the party. Definitely keeping it up like you always do with great conversations. Miss Inky, do you have anything? Also, Ashley, I know you hear me. Please send me your email information, your email, whether it's Discord or email. Also, send me the actual content. I don't know if you want to redo the content just to show people how to whatever for the copyright strikes, whatever. So I can have that promoted on this end in the community tab. Also, Inky, same thing too. Make sure you I'll email you again, just a reminder, but email me the information so I can have that link below. Anything Cash App to the Grey Pill Podcast, it will directly go to Inky because I'm going to make that a number one priority far as donating anything for a good cause, because I really haven't done that except for when I ran the 5K run in Panama City, Florida. Shout out to them. The zombie 5K run I ran for like 3 years. I had a great time, and every money that I got to some coworkers from my past, I donated straight to them, and I got on the news on a newspaper, so it was fun. So anything that I get for the Grey Pill, we get for the Grey Pill Podcast, will go straight to Inky. Because I have a job. Everything is mine. So I'm good with that. So I'm going to make this a call. So anything y'all donate, the viewers, the chat, will be going straight to Inky's cause. So I leave like that. Inky, any final words for us? Oh, you're welcome. And it's a good cause. So Inky, you have any final words for us? And we can get out of here. And then I can maybe, depending on Classic Ruby, and you're more than welcome for that conversation. And I can go ahead and we can discuss racism later tonight. So we'll see what Classic Ruby can do, and we might have that discussion later on tonight.
That'll be awesome. Thank you very much for having me up. It's always a pleasure, and I appreciate your generosity. That's amazing. This was a great conversation.
Hell yeah.
Truly. Yeah, it truly was. And also, when you, I will respond to you when you email me, or I can email you back. As far as the harassment and bullying goes, as far as YouTube and whatnot, because I also tend to those types of situations also.
All right, good stuff.
So, yeah. So thank you very much. Thank you. It's a pleasure to see you all again. You both have a wonderful rest of your day.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate y'all guys. Thank you for coming through. If y'all new, hit the subscribe button. Definitely hit the bell notification. If you're old, definitely hit the like. Support the channel. Everybody else come around here too. Appreciate for DL for crashing party. Appreciate Auntie who crashed the party. Appreciate Either Man for giving great perspective, even though he's doing the head nod shakes, but it's all good. So appreciate you guys for coming through. So thank you.
I know you're out there. I can feel you now. I know that you're afraid. You're afraid of us. You're afraid of change. I don't know the future. I didn't come here to tell you how this is going to end. I came here to tell you how it's going to begin. I'm going to hang up this phone, and then I'm going to show these people what you don't want them to see. I'm going to show them a world without you. A world without rules and controls, without borders or boundaries. A world where anything is possible. Where we go from there is a choice I leave to you.